Man, Motion Night. What an incredible time together, you guys. I'm telling you, this past Motion may have been my all-time favorite Motion ever. And if you were there, you get it. Worship was insane. The message really hit so many students, and I believe that the Holy Spirit was moving throughout this place, this whole room. And students were so receptive to it. When you see the hand of God move so powerfully like that, there's something so special about it. And if you missed this month's message, head over to our YouTube page. Please, just like after this house party, head over to youtube.com/chapelstudentsmidlow and find it. And I really believe this. This message, the one from this Motion from the month of April, it could change your life. The theme this month is open book, and how whether we're believers in Jesus or not, our lives are an open book, showing people who we are, what we value, and what we think is important, and what we believe. We looked at how Peter tells us in 1 Peter 3:15 to always be what? Prepared. Always be prepared to share our faith. We talked about how that can sort of seem challenging or daunting, but how culture around us is already doing it. Everyone around you is sharing what they believe and why they believe it. But as Christians, we're more scared to do it out of fear of what people may think. I told you about the acronym that I made up called SLAP, and how you can actually be prepared to share your faith. And if you don't know what SLAP is, ask someone who was at Motion Night, and hopefully they're prepared to tell you. But I also mentioned that we would look into different people, right? I remember I was like standing right there, and I said, don't worry. At house parties, we're going to look at different people from the Bible who felt unprepared to speak when they needed to, and how God showed up and helped them. If you were there, you'll remember that I told you that the Holy Spirit will speak to and through you, that God would give you the words to say. I want to show you a story where that exact thing actually happens. It's in the Old Testament, and we run into a guy named Moses, and he was a Hebrew or an Israelite who God used to free his people, the Israelites, from Pharaoh in Egypt. God showed up to him in a burning bush, which is phenomenal, by the way. Think about seeing a bush engulfed in flames, yet it's not burning up. That's crazy. What a miracle that had to be. Like, put yourself there to see that. Had to be so wild. God speaks to Moses from the bush, and I want to read part of it to you. So let me set the scene. The bush is burning, and God's speaking to Moses through the bush, telling him, out of everyone that was like around, God chose Moses. He's going to use him to set his people free from slavery. Moses has the audacity. I just read it. I just reread it. You can read it yourself. Exodus 3-4. I read this. He has the audacity to tell God no, not once, not twice, not even 3 times, but 5 times. Moses tells God, no, I'm not doing it. So in chapter 3, verse 11, he says, who am I to appear before Pharaoh? Who am I to lead the people? Then God says, I will be with you. Then Moses says, sure, fine, but what do I tell them your name is? Who do I say that you are? What do I say about you? And then God essentially says, tell them my name. Tell them who I am, and they will understand. I want you to pay extra close attention to these last 3 times that Moses pleads with God to do it another way. In chapter 4, Moses says, but God, what if they don't believe me? What if they don't listen to me? What if they say the Lord never appeared to you, Moses? Then what am I supposed to say? Then verse 10 says, Moses again is like, oh Lord, I'm not very good with words. I never have been, and I'm not now. Even though you've spoken to me, I get tongue-tied and my words get tangled. And finally, in a final attempt, Moses pleads. He says, Lord, please find anyone else. Find someone else, please. Wow. 5 times. 5 times. Maybe you can relate to Moses here. God, I don't want to speak to so-and-so about you. I don't want people to know that I'm a Christian. I'd rather be a closed book than an open one. Send someone else, anyone else, please. Don't use me to make you famous. Don't make me uncomfortable. Don't put me in a difficult situation. Don't send me. Don't do it. I can't. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I get anxious about it. I get tongue-tied. I'm fine following you up to this line, but when you ask me to cross it, that's a deal breaker for me. You guys, listen, that's not how this works. We don't have to be used by God. We get to be used by God. Moses missed this. God is so patient with Moses here, and he's so patient with you today. Have you been neglecting speaking, sharing, or being Jesus to someone else? Maybe you felt that pressing on your heart, but now you've been suppressing it and ignoring it. Has God been trying to get your attention with a burning bush? Something so obvious that it's without a doubt, no questions about it. God's getting a hold of you, but you see it and you say, nope, not me. You've got the wrong guy, not right now, sorry. I know what it's about. I know what he wants, but listen, God, I'm not doing it. My hope for you in this series and even beyond that, in your life, is that you'd say yes to God. To not say no to God like Moses did 5 times, but instead say yes the first time. What a privilege it is to be used by God in this way. The mission is critical. Someone needs to know about Jesus like you do, and Jesus wants to use you to help them. And you'd say no? What if someone said no about you? Aren't you grateful that someone else was an open book for you? Be willing to be that open book for someone else. I'll close with this. Moses ended up going after all, and God used him in mighty ways after he agreed to do what God asked him to do all along. But I shared with you at Motion Night that the Holy Spirit would speak to and through you. Check this out. At the tail end of their conversation at the bush, before Moses leaves, God reminds Moses of this critical detail. Exodus 4:12. If you forgot anything else or weren't paying attention this whole time, get this. Exodus 4:12 says, "Now go. I will be with you as you speak, and I will instruct you in what to say." Isn't God so good? So don't worry about getting tongue-tied. Don't worry about what to say or how to say it to that friend or that family member or that classmate. Ask the Holy Spirit to provide you an opportunity, right? That was the A in SLAP. Ask for an opportunity from the Holy Spirit. Then trust that the one who is with you will work in you to carry out his plans through you. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.